Hello there, you're welcome to another interesting episode of your favorite program every day, and this is the newspaper review. My name is William Sabule, and I'm here with Victor Sioko.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome to the
Thank you,
program.
sir.
And if you're just seeing this for the first time, Victor and I are going to go through the headlines together, and of course, we'll bring you details in a very short while. But you're also part of this if you're just seeing this video for the first time. So drop your comments, drop your reactions on the comment section. And if you haven't, if you've been following, please do well to also drop your comments because you know how we do it right here on the show. We'll bring you headlines across newspapers around Nigeria. So we'd love to hear from you today. Today being the 26th day in the month of June 2023. All right, let's go on to see the papers. But just before that, Victor, I'm going to come to you. How did your weekend go?
Oh, it was relaxing.
Oh,
Yeah, although I had my issues on Saturday, but on Sunday, it was relaxing. Yeah,
yes.
big relaxing.
Yes, and over the weekend, we also got news of how Burna Boy broke record by winning Best International Act from Africa for the fourth time. And that was very, very, very instructive. You know, he's been called the new cat.
Yeah, and the giant of Africa.
Yes, he's a new cat, but yet the giant of Africa, and he has broken records. He has won the Grammys, and here he goes again, winning 4 times BET Award. Very impressive. Congratulations to Burna Boy, and also to Thames for also winning Best Collaboration, International Collaborations. Also, congratulations to Thames. She's doing so much. She's also another new cat.
Yeah.
If you're going to put them in that category.
And yes, sorry, one more thing. I got the news that Tyler Perry has finally bought BET.
Wow.
And
impressive.
man, so the BET, that's
Now
man.
totally black
Oh my
entertainment
God, oh my
television,
God, oh
full
my
time,
God,
100%.
oh my God, yeah.
You know, black people out there are doing wonders, and you know, trying to prove their place that yes, we ought to be respected, and we're really talented.
And can I ask you, who do you think is the Tyler Perry of the Nigeria movie industry?
Oh wow.
Will you give it to? Okay, let me give you some names. Will you give it to? Well, Zeb Ejiro is gone.
Ejiro is no longer
but what about AY? Will you give it to AY? Who else?
AY has been there. He's been releasing blockbusters. There's also
and he released Amajiri
yes,
recently.
there's also Mo Abudu that has done so much. Even though she's the woman, but she's been releasing hit after hit. And then there's also Kemi Adetiba.
Okay.
Kemi, these are women.
Okay.
But then I could,
even Ramsey Noah has also.
No, he has joined the team recently.
Yes.
But the latter, which is the former, that's Kemi and Mo Abudu. These are people that have really done well. I haven't seen any movie recently of Mo Abudu, but then Kemi Adetiba has been on the roll. She's been releasing back to back, and then Ramsey Noah. So yes, we're also growing. And the world has also taken note of all the wonderful works that are coming entertainment-wise from Nigeria. We stand out in Africa, and I'm sure even when Bill Gates came in, he mentioned it, that Nigeria has been making such loud impact out there as regards entertainment. So yeah, we're growing. So one day we'll be able to single out that one person that has done so well in contributing to our entertainment industry. But for now, we have people coming out, springing out from everywhere. There's the video and the Burna Boy argument to new cat, old cats, big dog, small dog.
And we have the new boy on the block, Victor Osimhen.
Oh, Victor has been making so much mark in terms of sports. And yes, so we're so talented here in Nigeria. All right, let's go into the business of the day, which is our newspaper headlines. We're set to bring you those headlines, beginning with the Daily Sun newspaper for today, 26th day in the month of June 2023. And let's start with the headlines right there. On Daily Sun here, we have as headline, Kanu's release central to peace and southeast. Ohaneze speaking. And you find details of that story on page 27 of the Daily Sun newspaper. We also see here as headline, ISWAP, Boko Haram in supremacy battle. Scores killed as groups fight for territory control at Lake Chad. Interesting how they turned against themselves, you know. And we hope that the new security architecture will lash on this and begin to, win back the territories that have been lost to these terrorists. All right, we'll continue with the headlines still on Daily Sun newspaper. Here we have KYC, bank customers, experts oppose CBN's directive on social media handle. Page 25 is where you get details of that story. We also see here, Salah, Muslim faithful lament Ram, foodstuff prices spike. Page 6 is where you get details of that story. Jam, 482,356 candidates just sold for 28,578 admission spaces in medicine, pharmacy. You find details on page 29 of the Daily Sun newspaper. And lastly, I'll take this one. IGP to meet mobile commanders promises improved security. All right, before we go into the main story, we're going to talk about this headline caught my attention, that of Salah. You know, Salah is just a few days from now, I think on Wednesday or Thursday or thereabout. And no surprise, they are crying out for over the price hikes that they are experiencing in terms of buying food stuff to celebrate this very auspicious celebration. And it's beginning to make me wonder where the position that we've been for a while now. And I guess it's just telling on some people because, oh, people are crying about the petrol hike, but they are yet to understand the implications of this petrol hike. And I'm sure the Muslims that are celebrating in a few days are beginning to feel it. What's your take on that story?
Yeah, it is no big news. It is no big news because even to go out there to eat mama put of 500 naira, we found out that the food has depreciated. It is now to even eat 500 with meat. The other day I tried to go and eat bole.
No, there's no bole.
Hey,
again now.
my brother.
Only one plantain.
As in
They will just give you. You want bole 500, they will just give you one plantain.
Oh,
that's all, sir. Thank
you.
So is that serious?
Yeah, is that serious? And if you come to think of it, why would we still be retaining the free pilgrimage visits to Mecca and to Jerusalem and to Jordan on both ends, both Christians and Muslims, when you know that money, you can even use that money and spend on the poor. Use that money to spend on people in Nigeria. If they run a vote, and that's how a government is for the people. Okay, if they run a vote and say this money that they are using for this pilgrimage, which you know that most part of the people that go for this pilgrimage are the privileged ones, the people that have their connections. Those are the ones that they give these slots.
Yeah.
So if you run a poll, you find out that most Nigerians will say, please stop this free pilgrimage, these monies that we are spending on taking Nigerians out of the shores of the country for one religious. If you don't have the money to go, don't go.
Don't go.
Don't go.
Don't go on taxpayers' money.
Yes.
While other people.
So that money, just imagine if you use that money to say, okay, you are going to use it to feed the poor.
Yeah.
We'll feel the impact more, brother. So yeah, for the hike, I'm not surprised. Oh man.
Yeah, it's all over the place, and it has affected, what we said on this program. Our economy is petrol oriented, so whatever happens to the price of petrol, we just spiral into other things, and that's what's happening. And tough time, but I'm sure we'll all go past this period. All right, let's move on to the next story still on Daily Sun, and that will be KYC. Bank customers, experts oppose CBN's directive on social media handle. All right, so when that story broke, a lot of people were like, what is up with the CBN? Are they so jobless now to start requesting for social media handles of, prospective clients to deal with? How is that going to help them to hold these people accountable? One doesn't know. So I would like you to go over that story.
So they target on that KYC, that's know your customers. Yeah. So you ask. So phone number is not enough for them. BVN.
That captures everything.
Yes.
Your fingerprints, your address, your village address, your mother's name, your mother's address. In fact, it must capture your spirit identification number. Everything is there. So it's not enough.
So it's unfortunate that this new leadership, although the new leadership, that Shinobi, he might move it to just like what happened with RMAFC. That's the guys that adjusted the salaries. They say, it is in the Nigerian constitution that we should do our own. We just only did our own. So I know there will be a body inside the CBN that will say, we are just doing our job. Okay, at the end of the day. But now you ask, what are the implications? Why is it that they did not also let us know the main reason why they are asking for this? Yes, they grouped it under KYC, but there should be more details. That is why what the issues that we are having with public servants. You want to carry out, implement a particular policy, but you are not willing to tell the people the impact, the details in this policy. Okay, but on my own, as an analyst, I've also gone through some thoughts, and I'm like, remember some months ago, some social media handlers were like the Lagos state government were after them. The Lagos state tax office were after them, that they need to pay so tax because of the proceeds that they assume they make from social media that is not declared. You know, Nigeria, what could they for this country, especially when it comes to tax? Okay. Yes, and yes, we understand that the FRS is doing a whole lot to help to run the economy.
Yeah.
Yes, we still have our issues about double taxations and the co, but FIS has shown that they are the #1 revenue generators in the country. But you don't make out this kind of policy without letting the people know the reason about this. Okay, now it now goes down to what are even the real duties of this CBN, this so-called CBN, okay, that have in quotes released the policies that have impoverished the nation. What are they even looking at for? Is it to collect this with this data? Let me keep it. We need help the common man on the streets. Also, Serap has also come out to say, okay, this will never work. They will take that to go. But you know, Serap, I'm tired of Serap, as far as I'm concerned.
But I feel they're doing they're doing a great job.
Okay, they're
trying to always caution.
But what result have you seen?
Policies. No, but then they actually bring to awareness some of the wrong policies that government and all these institutions just churn out every day. Because if you leave it to Nigerians, they are just going to grumble in their rooms with nobody doing anything about it. I feel Serap is doing a great job. The same job that these opposing political parties should have been doing. But they don't do it.
But that's you are very correct.
Yes, the same job that the PDP is supposed to be doing. The
Labour Party.
The Labour Party.
Yes.
And other parties are supposed to be
NLC.
doing, just like it's done in Senate clients. When government begin to churn out useless and unprofiting policies, these are supposed to be the pressure groups that are supposed to say, government, you cannot do this. Nigerians are not supposed to be taken for a ride, but they're quiet. So I feel Serap is doing a great job trying to caution them and letting Nigerians know that you should not keep quiet. What these people are doing is against, it's against you. So speak up if you have to. And sometimes you've heard them also say, okay, please, let's sign against, have signatures against this policy and all of that. So I feel they're doing a good job.
Well, I get you 100%. But my own issue with Serap is that I hardly see them come out with a favorable judgment. That's my own issue.
No, but the fact that the government understands that, okay, when we do this people are going to talk, and yet they hear people talk. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
100.
Because we have a government that is quite irresponsible most of the time.
Yes.
They do things to favor them. Now, this policy, is it going to also be against the rich, the powerful, the politicians? Because we don't have politicians with social media handles that they are going to go and be chasing around. Politicians don't do that, and they are the main people that are really, encroaching into our economy and doing so much harm to it. So, is it one small business that is about to start that you will now go to social media and begin to chase around? So, I mean, this policy, as it were, it's good that they are, being cautioned that please, I don't think this is necessary.
Well, yes, for the fact of going to respect to privacy, yes, Serap has come out to say no, you are infringing on people's privacy. Yeah. But also, if you also look at, is it that they want to use that means to collect more tax? You just begin also to wonder, is it these small businesses that are just trying to grow that you now want to suffocate?
These businesses have enabling environment to thrive because every day policies from federal level, from state level, they keep coming up to squeeze this business. You don't know how many business go out of business every day.
And many will shut down. I went to a major shop. I went to a major shop last week. Power was so bad.
Yeah.
Our PhED, it was so bad. Then I saw a very big mega shop. They were out of light.
And then you know why? Because even if they want to, give, generate their own power, they have to spend thousands of naira to do that.
You know how much you spent last week?
50 liters of fuel now. It's big man's business.
Yes.
It's big man's business.
Yes.
So by the time you buy 50 liters for 3 days to keep your business running, it will tell on you. The government will breathe on you with taxes again. And also, I don't know, the government need to prioritize what will make businesses grow. then before they begin to say, okay, I think we have done enough to enable small and medium scale businesses to stabilize. So it is time for us to take back. In other climes where taxes are their main IGR, like in the Western countries like the UK and the rest of them, it is because they have a stable, economic system that allows businesses to thrive well. So yes, when they're asking you to pay, you don't complain so much because you get it in good health care, you get it in, so many other ways that the money comes
And you
back to
get
you.
returns,
You
tax
get
returns.
returns. So what are we talking about? In Nigeria, you pay.
You
You don't see anything coming out
nothing,
of it.
nothing. They will steal the money.
Bad roads, bad power supply, bad everything. Plus, you drive around and you have touts jumping into your car to ask for radio. What's that called?
Permit.
Radio permit. Your radio permit for you to play music. Radio permit. So all sorts of irregularities are out there. And so, if the CBN is saying they want to do this, how is it really going to benefit our economy? And how is it going to help the common man? And I don't know what governments really prioritize. I don't know. There's so much to deal with at this time, and this is what they come up with. It's amazing.
And lastly, in a situation whereby we know that our interest rates are so high, the CBN, what are they doing about that? For how long will our interest rates keep climbing? Okay, the CBN rate, that's the nominal rate, is about 18% from the CBN. Okay, but when you now head to the banks, you get rates heading towards 23 to 24%.
Sure.
Imagine how many businesses will you do that they will cut off 24% of the money being given to you, of the revenue? How many businesses will you do that you'll be able to make 24% profit before you now start talking about paying taxes? You can imagine. That is why if you compare our taxes to Senegal, even the UK that you just mentioned, or the Western world that you just mentioned, that they are collecting a whole lot of tax. Fine. The UK just raised ordinary 4.5% to 5%, and it's like the whole country wants to turn into red.
Yeah.
Just 0.5% increment of tax.
Yeah.
Something. So just imagine. Okay, UK is doing 5%. The US is doing still about 5%. Top economies, and even the developing economies, Poland.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that Nigeria, with our resources, that we should not be better than Poland.
Yeah.
But Poland is just doing about 4%.
We have
CBN should mind themselves. Focus on their focus.
On better things. They should leave issues like this aside and focus on things that will truly improve our economy and better the lives of Nigerians, because we cannot, the president said let the poor breathe, but I don't get it. I don't get it. Fine, he has done quite well in certain areas, but you see, this is our economy thing. Is one key area that he needs to really focus on what's going on there. And if Emefiele has been asked to step aside and we have someone coming in, he cannot be starting on a wrong note, wrong foot like this, where we have the president going on a certain trajectory. We don't want any more stifling of our peace. Please, let us breathe. I beg, it's enough. It's enough. We are here to recover from fuel increment. That people are struggling here and there. People can hardly use their cars these days. Even the record shows that fuel consumption has dropped. Seriously.
Yes.
People no longer use their cars. Even transportation fares are inside heaven. The so-called palliatives are yet to show up. People are just in disarray, trying to balance themselves into the new reality. And then this one. How is this going to help us to look forward? That's why I said Serap is actually doing a great job. Because at this point in time, no Nigerian will be one day or bothering themselves about what CBN is doing. Because as far as it's not, helping them to get out or balance themselves into the new financial reality, they're not going to bother themselves. But we need Serap to be talking more. All right, thank you very much. We're going to move on to our next story for today, being the 26th day in the month of June. And our next paper will be Nigerian News Direct. And on Nigerian News Direct, we have as headline here, Food Safety. NAFDAC vows to enforce good hygiene practices in bread production. That story is on page 3 of the Nigerian News Direct. We also see here, withdraw regulations of customers. Social media handles or face legal action. Serap tells CBN. Page 2 is where you get details. We move on to the main story here. It says, all eyes on Tinubu's cabinet. UK eyes formation of cabinet to strengthen economic relations. Prioritize merit over political patronage. Arewa Economic Forum speaking. Appoint experienced technocrat to lead power sector. Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, that's MAN, You find details of all that story on page 21 of the Nigerian News Direct. Also on Nigerian News Direct, All African Business Leaders Awards. Zenith Bank CFO Mukhtar Adam emerges Chief Financial Officer of the Year. 50 people killed, 170 houses burnt in Imo communities. President Ohaneze Youth Council speaking. Details you find on page 21 of the Nigerian News Direct. All right, let's go to the main story here on Nigerian News Direct, talking about, Tinubu's cabinet and the UK saying, go ahead and form your cabinet, and that's how we're going to come in to strengthen our economic relations. All of that is playing out on as president is still out there. What's your take on this story?
Strengthen the economic relation. Strengthen the economic relation. That's where I want to hit hard today. So what are the relations we have with the UK with respect to trade? Yeah. Okay. What do we buy from them? And what do they buy from us? Okay. Now, glass is an important commodity for them, and we ship out glass. And wood is another thing. Charcoal is another thing. Then the oil. Although they are not the major buyers of our oil, but yeah, they have big markets. They pick up the big market from us. What do we buy from them? We buy education, they sell education to us. Out of, just recently, we saw the numbers rose from about 50,000 Nigerians that go to the UK to 107,000. 107,000 Nigerian students go to the UK for education. The minimum school fees you pay for education a year in the UK is around, the minimum is around 11,000. Averagely, you're going to pay about 16 to 17,000 pounds. When you quantify it to what we are selling to them, you find out that there's a whole wide gap out there. So the UK should know that we are doing them more favor. Okay? Because we are pushing more of our funds to them than they are pushing to us. Out of 700,000 persons that went to the UK for study, Nigeria is ranked number 3. We have China, we have India, then Nigeria. Mind you, we cannot shoulder to shoulder go out all out there with India and China because of their population. Sure. So just imagine if our population were like the Chinese, that means Nigeria will be at number 1. Yeah. So you find out that, and now they've also not helped us by cutting off families to go over there with their loved ones. Okay, that's starting by January. But you now ask, what are the financial implications for Nigerians? Yes, we are happy with that. We are third world country as far as I'm concerned. We're happy with that because we want our okay. Although some government officials do not like the idea of Nigerians leaving the country. But yes, look at P2B. One will say it's P2B. Yeah, but look at P2B. Due to we know that Nigerians in the diaspora send money back home. Yeah. And that money is very, very important. One Nigerian in the abroad can maintain 2 families here. Sure. Okay? Depending on the ties, though. So, when that happens, you find out that people abroad are helping the government down here to cater for Nigerians here. Okay? So, but for them, now to the details, for the UK envoy, that's Richard, that's the commissioner, saying that they are waiting for ministers to come together for him to select, for the president to select his minister. I think that one is just, I don't see any will I say, difference that will make, okay, if he selects good ministers or not. The UK, mind you, at the end of the day, they are also out there to make profit for themselves. Yes, of course. Yeah, so it's now left for us as a nation to find out ways to be more manufacture more things so that we can sell to these people. Because if we are waiting for it, man, okay, look at what Macron said over the weekend, that the Europeans, as in the EU, should come together so that they will not depend on any other continent, be it China, be it the Americas. people are beginning to
Look
find
inward.
ways, inwards to maintain their economies. So Nigeria should not just, our mind should not be clouded that, oh, it is the world, the Western world that will come and save us. We need to find those solutions down here. We need to manufacture more. We need to make our economy better by ourselves.
True, I agree with you. We need to make our economy better. And of course, the UK is looking out for themselves. So whatever they're talking about is all in their favor. So it is dependent on the Nigerian government to say, okay, well, let's also take advantage of that relationship ties we have with the UK and see how we can better ourselves and our economy. Well, that's all we've taken from the Nigerian News Direct. But we're going to take a quick break right now. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break to continue with the news headline. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey there! Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Welcome back from that short break. Thank you for still staying here on the Newspaper Review. We're happy to have you. And if you're just joining us, go ahead and subscribe to this channel by clicking on the subscribe button. And of course, turning on your notification key, because that's how you get notified when next we come up with a new episode of this program. We are going to take our last paper right now, and that would be The Guardian for today, the 26th day in the month of June 2023. And we have a headline here on The Guardian: 40% hike in vehicle duties worsen transport crisis. Poverty. Page 6 is where you'll get details of that story. Also on The Guardian here we have history of customs FX rates review. You see the history from 2014 now all the way to 2023, how it has risen. So do well to get a copy of The Guardian newspaper to get details of that story. Also, we see here UK awaits Tinubu's cabinet ready for stronger ties with Nigeria. Page 6 is where you get details of that story. 6 Nigerian pilgrims dead, 8 others ill as 2023 Hajj rites begin. Yes, I saw a video of a young man struggling for his life. It was said that that video was taken somewhere in Saudi Arabia. I wonder what happened to them, but you can read up that story on page.
So rest in peace.
Yes, for the ones that we've lost, may they so rest in peace. All right, find details of that story on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper, and we'll take this story. So you say Nigeria loses $50 billion yearly to foreign domination, non-implementation of Cabotage Act. You find details on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. And lastly, community pharmacists decry 15% vaccination rate. News on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. All right, 40% hike in vehicle duties worsens transport crisis, poverty. So now we have it again. Some people predicted this, that once we have a new government, we might possibly have a hike in the import duties for vehicles, most especially. And yeah, that has come to be 40%. How do you take on that story?
Okay, firstly, the 40%, it got to 40% because as the FS was released, the subsidy on FX was removed. You find out that Forex is now hanging about. Some say recently now it hit 700 naira or 709 or thereabouts. Okay, so it's been subsidized too. It has been subsidized too with the customs rate. So now they lifted it from 422 to 589, approximately 590. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that all the whole custom rates will go high by the time you are doing your exchange. But now, a Camry, Nigeria is wahala. A Camry, I was discussing with my wife. My small Camry, I bought that car from a friend for 500,000 naira. Okay, yeah, a 1999 model Camry. I bought it for 500,000 as a used, but it was clean. Big ups to that guy. I really say big ups, big ups. Now, at 500,000, I bought it then. Mind you, back then, a 2001, I don't want to start telling too much about my story, but I had a 2001 before I lost it. Then I bought the the 1999, went down to 1999 for 500k. But that 2001 was sold for 900k, the second hand value. Okay. Now coming back to right now, not my yeye car. The last time I pressed the Nigerian use is 1.250, 1,250,000. That aside, back in the days, you find out that a Camry of 2009 model, you will get from what's that name now? Export what? One of these online export companies in the UK, where Nigerians bid for vehicles. Yeah. Okay, I can't remember the name. But now you can bid a 2009 Camry. Back then, this I'm talking about 2020. Okay, you can bid for $2,000. Okay, you might just need to do some little repairs. Okay. Now, that same Camry, back then, you could clear it with 500, 600,000. You are done. Can you imagine that same Camry now? You are clearing it with 1.6 million.
In the least, so.
The least. What about the exchange rate of $3,000? Back then it was around 350. Okay, now it has doubled up. So a $2,000 buying the car there, $2,000. Let's say you use $1,000 to ship. That is $3,000. 3,000 times 700. That's 2.1 million just to buy and ship the vehicle. Then you spend 1.6 to clear it.
So the car is automatically worth over 3 million now.
Yes, we are talking about 3.7 million. Okay. Now, how much will you use to make some repairs? Because you need to make those repairs. You need to spray the car so that it will be so clean. Okay, let's say now, for instance, the dealers will now clean up the car and all that and sample it for 4 million. No, sample it for 4 million. As in 4 million, I mean that's their cost. That they have spent 4 million. Keep it. How much do you now want them to make? Will I invest 4 million naira in a business that might take up to 4 months before it gets to me? How much will I now want to make? Let's say, for instance, you want to make 500,000. For me, 500,000, yes, when it's cumbersome, it's good money. Okay, but let's say the person now adds 500,000 to the market. What if the person does not sell the car in 1 year? What then happens? Okay, so that's one side. Mind you, as all these are increasing, the cost of spare parts are also increasing. So you find out that we are in a difficult situation right now. And you can't also hold the customs because they'll be like they've been subsidizing this. Everybody has lifted their hands from FX. So why wouldn't they also do the same? Are you getting that?
They cannot be working at a loss. So yes, they have to balance things up for the government.
Yes. So, but look at the issues now. Had it been we had vehicles in Nigeria, as in plenty manufacturing vehicles, one we say we have in Austin, we have is it what's that? Ford or something? Nord rather. We have Nord, but they are not enough. They are not enough. Let's be frank about it. Okay. Then you now start asking, what about mass transit? Because see, right now, if I have my way, if the bus systems are running well, my brother, or train, I might even be going far. Clean bus systems, my brother.
I will not. Me too. I
would park our cars. I would love to drive. I will enter. I enjoy being driven.
Yes, of course.
I will enter, carry my phone and be watching one thing or the other, or reading, or listening to music.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not within the state.
Yes.
So, but we don't have all those alternatives. So, still have to move around with your car. And then the other day I was speaking with a friend and we were talking about people living in Lagos. Lagos City is a very traffic-prone city. And then we were wondering how they buy fuel at very expensive rates and then burn it all in traffic. You know, you buy 10,000 naira fuel of about, say, maybe 19 liters, and then you go to work in the island, then come back to the mainland, and then spend over 3 hours in traffic because you cannot be turning off your engine. Lagos is a very, very hyper city. If you turn off your engine, anything can happen. So you keep it running with your glasses wound up, and then you burn all your 19 liters in one day. And they've not increased your salary.
No.
So you see, so if there are good transport system in place, people would leave their vehicles. And of course, it will also somehow positively reduce the traffic situation in Lagos. If a lot more people are using the transportation services provided by the states, they will stop using their cars and the road will be less compacted with vehicles. But the government will always do what they want to do, increase prices and damn the consequences. Say, don't worry, Nigerians are very resilient, strong people. They'll come out of it. They'll come out of it spotless. And there's where we are. We are all struggling. And believe me, within a year or two, we'll not be talking like this again.
As in,
Everybody has adjusted. Say, don't worry, we have it under control. And that's been our problem.
and look at the issue here. Why am I even laughing? See, back in the days when I bought that 1999 car, it was already old. In 1999 car that was bought, let's say about 2007, 2017, we are talking about how many years old? We are talking about 18-year-old car. Now it's about 23-year-old car.
It's now over 4 million naira in
23-year-old car. Oh,
it's quite
is
sad.
well.
And these are some of the things that Nigeria. If the government is saying we should stop importation, what is inside this country that we need? I don't even know. If they say, okay, patronize innocent, patronize Nord, how many Nigerians can afford it? These cars are not second-hand vehicles. They are brand new vehicles manufactured by innocent and all of that. So how many
people
Nigerians
can buy brand new vehicle
including
now?
the big boys in Nigeria, how many of them buy brand new vehicles that are worth over 50 million and the rest of it? So you see the situation. So Nigerians will continue to depend on these fairly used vehicles until thy kingdom comes.
My brother.
And now, even thy kingdom comes, is looking somehow because the prices have gone. It is beginning to slip out of the hand of the average, in quotes, as they say, average Nigerian. Because we have the rich, average Nigerian, and the poor. Now, we are beginning to look like that average is totally wiped off. There's no average Nigerian. It's rich, poor. In fact, the line, very clear now. Very, very clear. Starts with the fuel price thing. If you want to check and know what I'm talking about, just go to your neighbor's car, check. Most likely it's on yellow.
My
orange,
brother,
orange.
my brother,
Nobody
my
buys
brother.
fuel more
Hey.
than that orange again. Because when you buy 5,000, it's still in the orange line. You buy 10K, if you go above the orange line small. As you go to one location, as you're coming back, it has gone below orange. So that's where it is. Then the big boys, yes, it will remain up there, full, because they can spend it without coughing. So yeah, that's where any of these lines where you are rich, poor, please, just have faith. You get over
The way Nigerians are allowed to read meters now. Oh my God.
It's really, really tough, but
Hey.
we just find a way to laugh over these things and survive and then keep our heads up. All right, I want to thank you so much, Victor, for coming on the program.
And OPM pastor was talking this morning. Be grateful, oh, be grateful for what the Lord has done for you. My brother, this country, be grateful.
We have to keep encouraging
Oh, man.
All right, until next time we'll come your way again. I'm afraid this is where we're going to draw the curtain for today's episode of the program. Hope you enjoyed watching this. Do well to also connect with us on all our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and of course Twitter. So look at the bottom part of the screen. You're going to see our handles. So click on those handles to follow, like, and also share our videos. Until next time I come your way again. My name is William Zabule, and this has been the new Super Review on Tap TV.